The FanCode European Cricket Series rolls on, and it's time for the first leg of what we're calling our Danube Detour. We'll be in Hungary, Bulgaria and Romania over the next 3 weeks. 3 one-week series. I know 5 teams here in Budapest are really keen to get going. 4 T10 matches a day. Join us on the European Cricket Network. This is the FanCode European Cricket Series Hungary, and it starts right now. Good morning to you wherever you're watching around the world, and welcome to another big week in European cricket. Well, the FanCode European Cricket Series Roadshow has hit Hungary, and we're in Budapest for a 6-day series. I'm very excited to see these 5 teams go head to head, and we're starting with a bit of a derby of sorts between the Blinders Blizzards and the Budapest Blinders. Now, these are 2 teams from one organisation. They're going head to head in the first 2 matches of the tournament. So we're going to start with the toss for match 1. The match referee, Charles Croucher, is with the 2 captains. Let's get ready for the coin toss.
Heads. Heads is the call. And it is a head.
What would you like to do, Stefan?
We're going to have a bat.
Well, there you go. It is the Budapest Blinders. Their captain, Stefan Gooch, has won the toss and elected to bat. And look, I think that's a good decision. And look, they're a very confident batting team as well. They've got a solid top 3. Abbas Ghani's probably going to open up with Ali Yilmaz. And then the captain himself, Stefan Gooch, he'll bat 3, and he's coming off a half-century on the weekend. He also, Stefan Gooch, holds the best ever bowling figures in the FanCode European Cricket Series. He secured 6 for 2 in this series last year. And look, they're a new team, but I think the Budapest Blinders, they've really turned some heads on the local scene here. Look, they'll be big favourites for this one. They've got Maz Baji behind the stumps as well. And look, the Blinders Blizzards, well, they are a bit of a second-string unit compared to the Budapest Blinders. They have some players of their own. I think Sachin Chauhan, he's been a stalwart in the Hungarian cricket scene over the last few years. So I'm sure they'd be hoping to spring an upset, and they'll have 2 chances to do so this morning. And look, let's talk about the conditions this morning in Budapest. Well, I can tell you that it's a beautiful sunny day, probably not quite as hot as it was in Malta over the last couple of weeks, but we're expecting a maximum temperature of 34. Currently, it's around about 26 or 27 degrees to get this one started. And look, this pitch, I'll tell you about it. Now, it is a hard surface underneath, but I'm getting told by the locals that it's a little bit slower and lower than some of the other artificial surfaces we've seen. And you do get the occasional unpredictable bounce. So I still think it's a good decision to bat first, get the runs on the board. That's exactly what the Budapest Blinders will be doing in match 1. Well, I'm telling you that I'm very excited to get going today. 4 T10 matches. And well, Joe Wegasani, he is of Hungarian descent, and he's with us right now. He'll be joining me in the commentary box this week. Joe, let's get ready for the first ball.
And a very warm welcome to all our viewers and listeners around the world. Yes, here we are in the Budapest GB Oval in Sotliget, the northern reaches of Hungary, and ready for an exciting series. The Blinders, the Budapest Blinders, of course, a new club, but they had an outstanding win yesterday against one of the stalwart clubs of Hungarian cricket, the Tigers, and they're in red-hot form and ready to take on their second team in the Blinders Blizzards. It's an absolutely wonderful day here in Sotliget. It's getting to about 30 degrees, maybe a little bit more. And the umpires are just coming out onto the field to get proceedings underway. Now we've got our the Budapest Blinders, of course, won the toss, and they will be batting first. opening the batting with a little bit of a different pair than what they normally do. We've got Abaskani, he's going to be opening. And joining him at the crease will be Ali Yilmaz. So they put on a good 50-run partnership yesterday against the Royal Tigers, opening the batting and really set a foundation for the Blinders to have a blinder. And now we welcome into the commentary box, of course, Vinny Sandu, Mr. Maximo. How are you, Vinny?
Hello, Joe. Great to be here with you. Well, got the players heading out there. Bit of an unusual look. Quite similar kits for these two teams. Of course, they're from the same parent organisation, Budapest Blinders, inaugurated this year. And essentially is their top side versus their reserve side. So you would expect that the team batting, team named the Budapest Blinders, would be favourites in this game. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of scores we can expect to see around here. But I want to welcome all of our viewers, no matter where you're watching around the world. It's great to have your company, whether you're watching on FanCode in India or whether you're watching on our YouTube channel, ECN European Cricket Network. And if you are watching on YouTube, why don't you hit that subscribe button. I know we're well over 200,000 subscribers now and climbing all the time. 250,000's the next target, I think, that we'll be heading for before too long. And we're coming off 2 weeks in Malta. 2 weeks in Malta, it's been pretty good. And I know that Joe, pretty excited to see these two teams as well. And the Blinders, they have kind of changed the face of the domestic scene here in Hungary this year, haven't they?
100%, and really showing yesterday that they are a team in form and ready to really take this competition on. They would count themselves a good chance, but you can be sure that the Blizzards, their seconds team, are red hot and raring to have a go at them.
Yeah, it just shows you how strong the club has become since they were inaugurated this year. Here's the first ball. Mohamed Azhar. He gets driven away through the onside. And this one will be a bit of a chase. Well, how about this for some fancy footwork? And I think he's pulled it off. And I think that'll be 2 runs. Well, we see a bit of foot fielding. Joe, this is a nice little start for the batting team, but also from the fielders. Did well to save the boundary there.
Yeah, absolutely good cricket all round, and great. They'll be feeling very good to be getting off the mark, especially Ali. He's struggled a little bit this year.
It's good team fielding, wasn't it? Next one gets through him. New ball does swing around a lot. It was well bowled by Azhar. And conditions today, like I mentioned at the toss, it's very, very sunny. In the mid-20s currently, and we're heading for something around the mid-30s. It'll be pretty warm out there in the middle. Pitched up again, and Azhar going to try and swing that new ball. Typical left armour, and well, he can swing it around a bit, but wait for this ball from Azhar. Yama's on strike. Once again, plays through the leg side. But you could probably tell me, Joe, what do you think's a good score out here in 10 overs?
Look, I would say anything upwards of 120, 130 they would be very happy with. But of course, I think they'll just be happy to put anything on the board and then trust their bowlers to defend it.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right, and that's why I think it was a good confident move to bat first. That's on the pad, and it's a little bit of bounce here, and that's what I heard about the pitch, is it's a bit variable. This one's worked, swinging off. Just a single. So no boundaries yet. And interesting, I know that Stefan Gooch has been in pretty good form for the Budapest Blinders, coming off half century yesterday. And you did mention that they had a very good win yesterday. As we get to the end of the first over, pretty good one from Azair. It's 4 for no loss after one. And we did mention that Stefan has been in good form, and they pulled off quite the victory yesterday in the domestic competition.
Yeah, and when you talk about changing Hungarian domestic cricket, it's the Tigers had not lost in about 3 years. So really good showing there, and showing that they're up for it. They've changed their batting lineup a bit. As you mentioned, Stefan Gooch, the captain, would normally come in opening, but he's put himself in at 3 and given this pair a chance. And they, once they get going, you feel like this opening pair can really start hitting it around.
Yeah, I think that's what it's all about. 3 over power play, of course. There's Rahul Goyal, who immediately disappears, and we will get our first boundary. And that was a nice solid shot down the ground. And 4 runs doubles the score to 8.
There we go, just getting his eye in and really lifting that one beautifully over mid-on.
Yeah, it's well struck, wasn't it? 1 bounce, 4 runs. And now a bit of a conference. And this is one thing that I think the new teams to the competition need to realise, that you need to bowl your overs very, very quickly. And so not too much time for conference like this, but I think that the captain, Sachin Shawan, just taking the opportunity to have a word with his bowler, Goyal. They've got the long on in place now. This one gets through him. There won't be a run here.
Yeah, not a bad little delivery, and indeed, you know, you can tell Sachin he would really want the best from his players today. They know they're up against it, and you know, wants to put in a good showing.
Yeah, this one doesn't beat the field. Yeah, the outfield, I wouldn't say it's super fast here. So ground dimensions, about 50 metres in all directions from the middle of the pitch. And I do think it's not quite as fast as we saw in Malta, for example, over the last couple of weeks. That was breakneck speed stuff, but the grass here a little bit longer. Miss by Ghani.
Yeah, a couple of things about the ground. I mean, like you said, the grass a little bit longer. It's that tough buffalo grass, so it really holds the ball up. Also, the ground seems to have a little bit of a bowl shape to it. So.
Yeah. Driven down the ground. Should just be 1. And gets away with it in the end.
Yeah, nice bit of shin fielding there.
Yeah, it was. I'm trying to see. Well, he's got the shin pads on. He's a long way from the bat. But yeah, the history of this ground, I know it was originally procured for football. And the GB Oval, so it's named after the 2 gentlemen that procure the land. Their initials. This is well bowled right up in the block hole from Goyal. It's the end of a pretty good over. Only 5 off that one. End of 2 overs. It's 9 for no loss. So 1 more in the power play. And, well, Joe, tell us a bit about yourself. I know you're new to the commentary box here, but you've been originally from Melbourne, Australia, but living in Europe for a while now, and you're quite involved in the European scene.
Yeah, that's right, Vinny. I'm lucky enough to have been born and grown up in Melbourne before doing a few spells in different European countries. Germany, the Netherlands, I've been for the last 12 years. Fortunate enough to be involved in the top classes scene there for a short period, and just really love the growth that European cricket is undergoing at the moment, and obviously very stoked to be a part of the ECN crew.
It's great to have you, and you're going to see change of bowler now. It's going to be Omer Zahid to bowl the last over the power play. Short and smashed. And this one will be the first one of the series. Maximo! 6 runs, what a way to get started, and you can't bang him in. On this pitch, it's not a super fast track, is it? Anything short sits up, and it's ready to be hit, and that one certainly was. Smashed away by Abbas Ghani.
Absolutely, and Abbas, he's really in outstanding form. The way he can just pick up the deliveries, find the length very quickly and dispatch it is really remarkable.
Picked that up very, very quickly, didn't he? And these boundaries, like I say, they're not super long at all. And he comes back with now Zahid.
Now he knocks him over. It's the perfect reply, and it's the first wicket of the series. And well, and Zahid. Well, and well, the COVID protocols just going out the window for a second there, but I think he's just super excited. Guess it's early in the season, but this one, watch this one, crashes. This one was a better length, and he tried to go across the line again, but he couldn't catch up with Abaskani. Here goes, and the first wicket goes down. It's 15 for 1.
Gee, they will be so happy with that, Vinny, to pick up a bus. I'm very glad to see one of my first things done in the commentary box is put a commentator's curse on a bus. Gave him a rap, and he played all over that one, completely missing it and getting his castle shattered. So a good start for the Blizzards. They'll be really happy with that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, I think the Blinds will be pretty happy to have Stefan Gooch at the crease. And he's a man that you might remember from last year on the European Cricket Network. He actually, with the ball, holds the best ever figures of 6 wickets for 2 runs. And I'm sure he'd be very excited to be out there again. Stylish left-hander. He's been working hard, I know, in the gym, and getting nice and strong for this series.
Absolutely, and Steph, you know, he's a batsman's batsman. He's a classic left-hander, often playing on the top of the order. He played a bit of A grade in Australia, in Western Australia, and very powerful on the front foot. Once he gets his eye in, of course, the Blizzards want to have a chance here. They really need to try to take him down in the early stages of his innings.
Scout. I need to see how he goes about it, whether he attacks straight away. I mean, we still are in the power play. Only 2 outfielders allowed, and they've gone for a long on and a deep point. But, well, Zahid, well, the fortune's changing very quickly. 6 first ball, wicket the second. Now he bowls to Stefan Gooch. It's played away nicely, and it's a class shot. Wow, that's an excellent start for Gooch. This one wasn't a bad ball, but he just manipulated it inside out. Starts his innings with a boundary. Nice shot.
Yeah, exactly the kind of thing he can do, Steph, and picking up the length very easily. It's interesting with this pitch. You mentioned the slowness of it, but it also has a bit of variable bounce. It can stay low, it can really kick up, but just rocking onto the back foot there, Steph was able to punch it through point and pick up his first boundary off his first ball.
That's the way to start, isn't it? There was nothing sloggy about that shot. That was actually a pretty good ball from Omar Zahid. And down the leg side, and the umpire says he's gone. Well, what happened here? I think Gooch has walked. I think this is very, very fortunate stuff. They strangle down the leg side, and we'll see this on the replay. And, well, see Gooch straight away. I think he knew. This is frustrating. See, straight away, he didn't wait for the umpire's decision. See, just a little touch. And, well, no batsman likes to get out this way. But that's a huge scalp. Second wicket down with the Blinders. It's 19 for 2.
Yeah, and they just really picked apart the probably the early weak point for any left-hander coming in to the crease, just putting on the legs, and before those feet really get moving, he managed to pick up that fine edge. And, gee, the Blizzards are off to an absolutely beautiful start here. They'll be very happy with this. Sachin will love what his team is doing.
It's a blinder of a start. It's a good catch by the captain as well. And this is just frustrating, I think. No batsman likes to be out this way. And credit to Gooch, though. He didn't waive the umpire's decision. I'm not sure the umpire picked up the edge. It was very, very fine, but very sporting behaviour. But, yeah, I think that's more fortune than anything else for the Blinders Blizzards. Still, they'll take it. And this will bring out a new batsman, Asanka Welligamage. And he's a pretty powerful player as well, coming in at number 4. Doesn't waste any time.
No, really big swing and a miss. Very little footwork there involved. He'll be happy to have missed everything in that. Get another chance. Yeah, Sungi, and he also often opens the bowling for the Blinders, but I think they are counting on his batting here.
Out. Wow, how about this? A third one. And this time it's the full toss. And would you believe it? What a start for the Blizzards. on a hot day. Oh, it's raining wickets at the moment. And this one, well, maybe a little bit of swing. Oh, I just think it was a full toss. The batsman new to the crease. He hit it pretty well, but he hit it straight out the fielder. And it was well taken low down. Look at this. Bang. It's great technique. And it was sensational bit of catching by Rahul Goyal at cover. And now a third wicket goes down. 19 for 3 at the end of 3 overs.
Yeah, and you could tell they really wanted to jump into each other's arms with that one. But meeting the COVID protocols, they celebrated with appropriate subdueness, but they will be absolutely stoked with this beginning. The Blizzards. And looking really sharp in the field. 2 great catches already taken. They've only given away a couple of boundaries. Yeah.
It's a dream start to get top 3 at this point. And Ali Yilmaz has been there just watching from the other end. This would be a real turn up for the books if the Blizzards could upset their bigger brothers, so to speak. And now we're going to go to over number 4. And it's going to be, I think it's going to be Hemant Perumal to bowl. Not taking wickets always has the effect of lowering the run rate as well. And you can see now, just a tick over run a ball. And look, I can't really underestimate how big those wickets are that they have. So they've got a real opportunity here. But Masbaji is a pretty good player. He's come in on striker's end, so they do have a lot of batting, the Blinders. But yeah, this is a start that I don't think anyone expected.
No, and a dream start. And you know, cricket's a pressure game, and the pressure's right on the Blinders here.
On a full toss, but this time might be hit for a catch. You see that bit of an undulating outfield. This will just be one. It's a nice bit of fielding there by Mohammad Azhar.
Yeah, and you can really see the unevenness of the ground there, and that it's travelling uphill when it's going to the boundary, and really sits up nicely. So if you want to get maximum quality for your shots along the ground, you really have to hit through the ball here.
So just them pitching up, and that's been a big difference. I think these wickets have been to balls that are a bit full up. We saw the short one getting punished. On the side, Baji on strike for the first time. A little bit of pad but no run.
You can see the pressure on the Blinders might start affecting things like they're running between the wickets and just really not wanting to make any more mistakes. But those are the kind of things that they just have to do to get back into this.
This be a big wide. It's actually really well done by Chow to get a glove on that.
Absolutely.
Saved 3 runs. It's absolutely hurled back in. It's one thing that I think will be critical as well in this form of the game. You don't want to give away too many extras, do you, to your opposition?
No, you don't, Vinny. But, you know, what a great start. They haven't given away too many so far. The bowling's been tight. Well
struck down the ground. They get one here. Look, these are 2 batsmen. You know, despite the situation, I think they're ideally suited to this situation. Yilmaz in there, who's opening the batting, but Baji, I think it's a good time for him to come in and gives him a chance to bat. And you might not get too many opportunities with this strong top 4 in front of him, so it gives him a chance to put an innings together. And on this one, gets one.
He was part of the fantastic chase that they did yesterday against the Tigers, chasing down 160 odd in a 20-over match. They reached it with 3 overs to spare, and he was crucial. Ali, the vice captain of the Blinders, he'll be wanting to really stand up for his team here. He hasn't had a great season. Didn't make any runs in the previous 3 matches until yesterday. So he'll be looking to do his job.
Way down the wicket this time. Proactive footwork from Yilmaz. Must be one. It's have you seen? I know you've seen a little bit of the 10-over cricket. What's your impression of it, Joe? You like it as a format in this part of the world?
Gee, it's exciting, isn't it? It's well, you know, we all want cricket to be reaching all corners of the earth, and yeah, to get cricket into Europe, I think 10-over matches is a perfect fit. Nicely.
Oh, he's gone. This is going to be run out. How about this? Can you believe it? Well, another half chance is taken. And it's Baji. We mentioned that he might get a chance to build an innings. Well, he won't get that chance. And well, how about this? He just pushed it and ran straight away. But the man was hunting at the short mid wicket. And have a look at the way he throws off balance. And well, he's gone by probably a couple of metres in the end. Sensational fielding by Omar Zahid. And have a look at this. It'll be a great shot of it. Crashing into the stumps. And well, they're making things happen out there. The Blizzards now is 25 for 4.
Absolutely, they are. What an unbelievable start. And this is what you are, when you were talking about the increasing standard of cricket in Hungary, you can tell the Blinders have put in a lot of work into their fielding, and the Blizzards as well, obviously. And really having a crack here, aren't they?
They certainly are. Well, tell us what you think about it in the live chat. Eastern European Cricket Network's always wonderful to get your thoughts. It's always great to get to a new venue as well and see some new players and teams. At the moment, we can see the competitiveness between these two teams, and there's a lot of friendly rivalry between them. They know each other very well, and I can see in here we've got Maya Pearl Dream, who is watching, as well as Michael Daub, who's a very interested onlooker, I'm sure. He might just have to go off to work. That's a shame. Hello to Keanu as well. Does a great job moderating the chat. Imran Jahangir. Hello from Nirvul. And, well, let us know what you think of Hungary. It's certainly a beautiful day. Just very pleasant. Up to 26 degrees at the moment. New over begins. It's Amjad Aziz. And, well, this is very high. And, well, where it's going to come down, nobody knows. It's going to go all the way for a Maximo. Well, that's the way to start your innings. And it's Farasat who comes out, and he whacks his first ball for 6.
That was almost getting us involved in the game, Vinny. You could have dived forward and taken that catch, I think. He hit it so far, and that's how to do it on this ground.
Protect the equipment is always number one, but that's sensational shot. And, well, look at the way that the Blizzards, they're not afraid to hurl the ball around. One thing you do have to be quite aggressive in this game, and we always talk about aggression with the bat, but I think in the field they're making wickets happen, and that last run out was a really good example of taking something on and throwing it, even though he wasn't perfectly balanced. Made a wicket out of nowhere. Now this is in the air, and this should be caught. And it is. Oh, well, 6 and out he goes, Farasat. He's trying to hit everything for 6, and a 5th wicket down now. Can you believe this? The Budapest Blinders there, 31 for 5.
Yeah, the Blizzards coming into town here, Vinny. The Blinders look like they don't know what's hit them. And didn't he look calm as he stood under that? Just no worries at all. Always knew it was his. They have obviously put a lot of work into their fielding, and like you said, they're really aggressive. They're throwing it in. The backing up has been excellent. Yep, this is a bit of shock treatment for the Blinders here.
It really is. I mean, it'll be very entertaining if they do make a fairly low score. I don't think it'll make it easy for the Blizzards either. But credit to Aziz. I think he wasn't too bothered about getting hit for 6. Just was going to keep putting it in the right place. And you see it sometimes. A lot of these players new to the format and their first FanCode European Cricket Series, you'll see that be a bit over-aggressive. I think that was an example of that from Farasat. Just got carried away. Got away with it the first time, but third ball, he perished. New batsman out there and on strikers end because they cross while that ball was in the air. So this is Yilmaz who just taps this away, but 5 early wickets.
Yeah, and it's all on Ali now. Ali Yilmaz, he's the one who's got to stay out there, and he's got to start picking up the run rate.
So can they get a 6th? That's the question. Swing and a miss, and still going to be in a situation where you've got some players coming in. I don't think they were expecting to bat. I mean, through it all, Yilmaz been a bit of a spectator for a lot of it though, because he's faced 10 balls, while the other batsmen have faced 19 so far. Oh, this one is hit pretty well. It's 1 bounce 4. And this is a really nice shot. Yilmaz, he becomes the second batsman to reach double figures. And swings across the line, but the timing was there, and he gets 4.
Absolutely. And it was short, but it stayed low, and he just picked it up, lifted it over the infield, and yeah, his biggest score of the year now so far, Ali Yilmaz.
He'll be keen to go on with it as well. He's got perfect opportunity to keep his side in the game. Others around him have fallen. See what Aziz comes back with here. Last ball of his over. Well, it's in the air. Well, who's going to catch this? Someone should. Oh, and they collide and it goes down. Oh, this is heartbreaking. Almost nose-breaking for the fielders. And you see there it was Goyal who really was the one that looked most likely to take it. But there was just a miscommunication and a chance goes begging.
Yeah, and they've been so sharp, but you can just tell there's a little bit of overexcitement between the two players here. Not talking, both wanting it. I guess if you're Sachin, you're the captain, you know that you'd be happy that they're so eager to take the catch, but just a little bit of talk needed there, and that would have been another wicket. But no, the Blinders managed to hold on to one, and that could be the chance they needed to start counter-attacking here. They've been on the back foot since the first over, really.
They really have. 37 for 5 at the halfway point. So it's hard to say what's a good score, especially first innings of the tournament. I always find that the scores tend to get bigger as tournaments go on. It takes the batsman a bit of time. I guess one thing that's different is there has been some cricket in Hungary this year. A lot of places we've been, they haven't really been able to play or train at all. So it's taken the batsmen a while to get in and to kind of find their timing. And that would have been a real handy one, because that would have been Yilmaz. And you would have had 2 brand new batsmen that hadn't faced the ball at the crease. So anyway, that's behind them now. It's going to be Mohammad Azhar coming back to bowl his second over. He bowled the first one, only conceded 4. Concedes wide off the first ball of this one.
Yeah, and Yilmaz, having survived that one, he just has to go on now and stay out there. And you're right, Vinny, if you haven't been playing much cricket, they have been doing the 20-over competition here.
Right away for Zingle.
And had 3 rounds so far. It's, and, each Hungarian club seems to have, there's a potato of parity going on, so each one has lost a match and each one has won. And so they've been getting a bit of practicing, but transferring from 2020 to 10 is also takes a little bit
different
of
ball game. I just see here there was a no ball and it was for too many outfielders. So this is actually going to make the next one a free hit. So just catching a lucky break there. You might be able to hear the train going past. Very close to the tracks here. Train station nearby. It's pretty convenient for the players in Sodliget, which is just a kind of satellite town north of the capital Budapest. I think no ball here. Might have been for Hine actually, for field. But it will be a free hit, and this is a good way to start your innings. Here's Khan. Able to hit it. We've seen quite a few run-outs. Well, we see a total wipeout there. It can be a little bit slippery next to the pitch. Well, I know, Joe, you're out there and found a bit slippery earlier.
Yeah, I might have had a little bit of a tumble, just, checking out the conditions. But this is what they've got to do. Just take those quick singles. It was a free hit. He didn't get onto it. Hit into his pads, but they made the most of what they could.
Yeah, so getting away with it in the end. It's like very, very interesting start to this game. And I thought it was a good confident move by Stefan Gooch to bat first, but not much has gone right so far. This is hit, but it could be a chance. It's put down. Another one goes down. This time it's Amjad Aziz at long off. And it's just a good looking shot, but just towed it a little bit. And Yilmaz has another life.
Yeah, and what was a perfect start for the Blizzards is not coming undone, but they're not doing themselves any favours with a few mistakes now in the field.
One thing that always surprises me is that 10 overs is actually quite a long time, longer than you think. And you see how much the game can change within 10 overs. So I think it's a really, really fascinating form of cricket. You have to think on your feet. You have to think quickly. And also, you have to be a little bit patient. Miss hit, but Khan will get one here.
Yeah, and all it really takes is a good partnership over a couple of overs that you can really turn a game around. So that's what the Blinders will be looking to do. The Blizzards have just got to stay focused, not get carried away with their early success.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Learned not to call games after 5 overs. Trust me, a lot can happen. We had quite a few games last week. And now they're going to get an overthrow here, so a little bit of over-aggression there. Probably not a necessary throw. And you can see that Iza Khan is out there and he's hustling along. Because everyone's important. I think like even from this position, I'll do a 6-over check-in in a second, but you know, you get 10 and over here, I think 80 plus. He's probably going to test the Blizzards with their batting. Advances, hits it pretty well. Goes down to Perumal. He's able to keep it to 1.
Absolutely, and you just feel that the two batsmen out there are really working hard, trying to wrest momentum back, and it really seems to be happening.
Yeah, so, well, 6-over check-in time. You can see this is where we are, and, well, being protected from the sunshine. It's you know, it's great to be with you, and I want to welcome you, whether you're watching on FanCode in India or whether you're watching on our YouTube channel, ECN European Cricket Network. And, well, we've got 5 teams this week, and they're all very keen to do well. I mean, these 2 teams, it's just showing that the Blizzards, they're not going to be easy beats. They're really handing it to their bigger brothers at the moment, aren't they? And I'm very interested to see how this morning plays out, because with the format, with the back-to-back matches, it's interesting, because whichever team wins, well, the other team gets kind of right a reply straight away.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you know, with 3 new teams in this competition against the defending champs, anyone can win it.
It begins. This is a good start by Kamran Waheed. He gets that one past Ali Yilmaz. The scoring rate hasn't been exceptional from Yilmaz, but what he has done, he's stayed there, and he's done what other batsmen haven't been able to. Just spend some time at the crease. And, now's the time you think that the batsmen have to put their foot down. 4 overs to go.
There he goes, foot down, but straight to the fielder.
Yeah, so I mean, that 10 and over or so gets them to around 85, and I think that's what they'd be aiming at from here. I mean, 1 boundary and over, and then not too many dots. That'll get you there. That's what they need to be concentrating on. And by the same token, if the Blizzards can restrict it to about 7s, then more like 70 they'll be chasing. Popped up. And just gets past the bowler. He might have a run out on his hands. Well, he's missed the unmissable here. I think this would have been out. And
yeah, gosh, that could really be a game-changing moment there.
Here,
taking the catch.
I think this would have been out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But well, how close was he when he missed this? That's what I want to know. He was only about a metre away. Well,
good backing up though.
That's a positive. Slow ball, and has he nicked it? He has. So it's a good comeback. We might have missed the one before, but he certainly didn't miss this time. That's a clever leg-cutting slow ball from Kamran Waheed. Presents another catching opportunity for Chowan. And, well, they do get the wicket. It's 6-1 down, and that's the big one they wanted. That's Yilmaz. He goes for 15, and the score, it's 48 for 6.
Yeah, and really smart bowling there, Vinny. He almost had the wicket with the ball before with that slow ball, and he just bowled another one, as you said, a bit of a leg cutter. And Ali Yilmaz, he'll be really disappointed with that.
Yeah. So how about that? 6 wickets down. I don't think anyone saw this coming, like we said.
I think the Blinders will back themselves though to defend even a modest total. They've got a pretty strong bowling lineup. Maybe hope that the excitement might get the better of their younger brothers, but the younger brothers, they're looking very good at the moment.
This one down leg side, be wide, and not too many of these. That's the 5th wide. It's been 1 no ball. One thing I've been looking at is the amount of wides and no balls and the ratio per over. So yeah, that's one thing I'm looking at. So it's less than 1-0, which is good. And so just be a single down the ground. Yeah, so looking at that, 4 wides and 1 no ball, so 5 of them, and we've had almost 7 overs, which is pretty good, I think, and definitely something. That's the reason that they're 50 and not perhaps in the 60s at this stage. I like the bowling of Cameron Wahid. Gets a bit of pad. Gets past the keeper. Just be a leg by. Not really getting hurt. Takes us to the end of 7 overs. And the score is 51 for 6. And, Joe, who do you like this week? We're talking about the teams here, and I know that Royal Tigers, they're normally pretty strong, aren't they? And they've been a bit of a force in Hungarian cricket over the past few years. How do you think they'll fare this week in the series?
Absolutely, and the Royal Tigers are often said to just be most of the Hungarian national team. So
Yeah.
Very, very strong outfit, and obviously as the defending champs, they will have a lot of pride on the line. I think they were really bitten yesterday by losing to the Blinders, and even though it's a separate competition, they will take that into this series and bring the heat. They're going to be tough.
Yeah, I think they will. I think they'll be out for some revenge. There's no doubt about it. But as far as all the teams here, I mean, also we're going to have United Shalad here, and they're a bit of a combination of 2 teams we saw last year, the Baggy Blues and Dunabagdan cricket clubs, and so they've joined forces to play at the top level competition here. As we see, we're starting Goyal coming back to bowl his second. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they bring to the table. And I think it's the kind of format where anyone can beat anyone, and that's what we're seeing here as well. The other team, the Cobras, will be here as well. Let's not forget the Cobra Cricket Club.
Runners up last year.
Yeah. And they had some good performances, didn't they? So, very interesting match 1 at the moment. This one is edged and gets away from the keeper, gets away from everybody. It's going to run away for 4. Well, it's a bit of fortune for Akbar, who's come to the crease. And I thought when he came herring down the wicket, I thought the stumping was on, but you see, he just gets a little deflection. No chance for Chowan, and a fortunate boundary for the Budapest Blinders.
Yeah, and they really needed that, didn't they? Just to ease the scoreboard pressure a little bit. Been such tight bowling here, as you mentioned. Only 5 wides, 6 wides. It's been very, very good performance.
It goes after this, and how much has he got? Well, he's got plenty. Maximo, half a dozen, and I think it was a slight misjudgment from Perumal, who is on the boundary, but he came in, and I think if he stands right in the boundary, he's a chance to catch this, but in the end it was fairly well struck. You just see he just finds himself in the wrong place, and well, in the end it's a really good shot from Akbar, and he moves into double figures.
Yeah, and Danny really putting in a nice little performance here, making a little score to try to wrest control back. And indeed, it just seemed off the bat that it was not going as far as it was.
The other thing they're going to have to keep an eye on, it, I did mention it, is the time. And we'll get one here. Now you need to start your 10th over by the 40-minute mark of the innings. And so for me, we've got about 2 to 3 minutes left, and you can see that they're nowhere near. Well, they haven't even finished the 8th over yet. So we could see, just got a feeling, that we could see some penalty runs. Now this is in the air. I don't think it's going to carry, or is it? Well, it did in the end. Wow, it's a sliding attempt from Anna Gupta, who's actually, that's Perumal, pardon me, who's down there, who's, well, we get a fingertip on it. I thought for a second that Perumal got moved down to position, but it's a bit of a half chance. This next one, fairly optimistic LBW appeal, takes to the end of the 8th over. It's 64 for 6, and have a look at this one. This is a very specious appeal from Chowan. Hit him above the belly button.
It was optimistic.
And this is the issue. I mean, for me, I think that they're going to probably find themselves 5 runs in the hole. And yes, there's allowances for wickets. There have been 6 wickets, and sometimes there's allowances for if there's significant stoppages. But I don't think there's been too much, except for that 6 wickets. I think they might get an extra minute for a 6-wicket falling, but that's one thing all the teams are going to have to learn, isn't it? That they're going to have to hustle.
Absolutely. I think Sachin just really putting the time into getting his field right.
Yeah.
You can see what this means to him and his crew. So
yeah, that's what it's been, hasn't it? It's been. And just only often we see it when there's lots of wides bowled and re-bowls, but we haven't really had that kind of innings. And this one is hit away square of the wicket. This will be 4. This is a nice shot, and just gave some width to Khan with no one out there on the offside boundary. It was well struck to the boundary.
And yeah, after a really, really sharp start to their fielding innings, we have seen a few little mistakes and a few little dropped chances. But I think overall,
Well, it goes in this direction again. This time the fielder, well, he's going to line him up. Well, it would have been out. One stump to aim at, though. This time, couldn't hit the stumps.
yeah, I think overall, Sachin and the Blizzards, we're really, really happy they've been making these chances, and it's only the first game of the series, and
Yeah.
already something they can really start building on,
Yeah, and
depending
so
how
you can
this
see,
next over and a half goes.
despite losing those wickets, they've at least scored at a rate where they've got something on the board. Well, this is going to go high. It's going through the fielder, and it's going to go not quite to the boundary. Thought for a second it might have gone in and touched the rope. I mean, this was very high. I thought he had a chance to catch it. He was just off balance, wasn't he?
Yeah, and just looking right into the sun as well, and fortunate for them, we've got this very coarse buffalo grass just holding it up.
Yeah, that one really stopped quickly, didn't it? The field obviously able to collect it just before it touched the rope. Goes after this one. This is a catching chance, and it is held. And it's a nice bit of fielding. And well, that looks like Cameron Waheed out there. He was in the right place at the right time. It's the end of an entertaining knock from Akbar. He goes for 14 off 7 balls. And the score now, it's 71 for 7.
Yeah, really put in, not a huge innings there, but something just to push the Blinders towards a total that I think they'll feel they can defend. 71.
Yeah, I think
They
so.
get another good hour and a half, or another good over and a half, and they can certainly put something on the board here that will worry the Blizzards.
This one's hit. Could be another chance. Fielder comes in. Oh, he makes a meal of it. Perumal. Well, this one, he just never got his hand set. Have a look at this on the replay. He was kind of on the move, kind of scrambling a little bit. And you see here, just never gets his hands in a good position. And in
No,
the end-
generally, the ones that they've caught, they've looked very relaxed and let
Yeah.
the ball come to them, but he really rushed that, didn't he?
Last ball of the over. Well, once again, fielder's going to line him up. And, well, I don't think they'll get one now. The keeper's got the ball. It's the end of the 9th over. The score is 74 for 7. Yeah, I think, they get to 80 here. I still think it's a pretty good score, especially in the first game of tournament against a team inexperienced in the format. And see, Perumal just changing his position. Yeah.
I've got to say, Vinny, I'm quite surprised that, like you, I thought this was looking a really good batting deck, and maybe a bit optimistic, saying 120, 130. But I think you're right. Having seen the variable bounce.
Yeah, I think also a few unlucky dismissals up the top. Yeah. Gooch is one in particular. I mean, getting a little fine edge down the leg side, and that has a big bearing on this innings. And, we'll probably see him again in the second game, batting in the top order. And if he sticks around, I think they make 100 plus. This is the last overtime now. Let the fun begin. And you see that Leonage out there is very keen to run for everything. He'll get his chance now. And Khan Stuck around as well. He's on 13.
Yeah, you're right about that. Just one or two of their top order batsmen stick around. They've got probably another 15, 20 runs. But that's what tight bowling does, and the Blizzards have been really tight.
Swing, but just the bottom edge. Just concede one here. It'll be interesting to see the approach of the Blizzards when they do get a chance with the bat. I mean, they're going to need something around 8 and over or so. It's really important that they just stay at that rate all the way through. You don't want to leave them too late. Sometimes we see teams being a little bit too conservative. It's gone over
very
the
disappointed.
stump, so it won't be a wide.
Very disappointed not to get hold of that.
Yeah.
But,
It'll be a bite. You see this one, because it's not wide of the leg stump, so if you were to extend the leg stump into the air, I think that went over it. So that's a good call. Not handled by the keeper, so they do get a bite.
Just interesting bounce. Wasn't too short.
Yeah, it did set up there, didn't it?
That is a
Here's
wide.
called a wide. Exactly right. And still 3 to come then. Well, no mention of the penalty run, so I think they're saved by the fact they've taken 7 wickets. And you see that there are allowances once you get 6 wickets and above in the innings because of the extra time it takes for batsmen to get out there in the middle.
And Nish on strike here. Super experienced batsman, cricketer.
See, he's aware of the match situation. He knows it's time to go for everything. And also being selective, not swinging at those very, very wide ones. Sometimes we see the batsman extending and maybe getting the edge of the bat on them and not getting the wide. It's going to be exciting to watch him approach these last few deliveries. 3 to come now. Well, there is the edge. And this one's probably going to run away. It will. So the run's coming at the end for the Budapest Blinders. They move into the 80s with that stroke.
Yeah, a little bit of luck. I think Nish might claim that. Very deliberate shot. But nice thick edge. And gone to the rope.
Yeah, well, he certainly swung hard, and that's why the edge flew as far as it did. Well, Stefan Gooch is probably saying, well, when I edged it, it just went down to the keeper. But when Nish did it, it went to the boundary. There's a lot of luck involved in cricket, that's for sure. 2 balls remaining. Swing and a miss this time. And they've gotten over the 80 mark. And I would have thought, at the start of the day, knowing it's a new tournament, 90 to 100 would probably be par. So you can see that despite the top order failing, and despite losing wickets all the way through, they've still managed just to keep the score ticking along, and they've never really been bogged down completely. Here's last ball of the first innings. Well, as usual, I've jinxed them, and not just that, they'll also get a bonus one. They'll get a wide, plus 1 for the run, so 2 wides, goes up to 85, and I think that Khan was pretty relieved there because he was running thinking it was last ball, but he would have been run out. It probably wasn't a necessary one to take, but Chowan couldn't find the target. And this one will be a run out. And so the innings will finish with an 8th wicket, 85 for 8. And, well, that's a pretty good effort from the Blizzards, particularly in the first half of the innings. And we'll see the batsmen coming off. I think they'll be pretty satisfied in the end with how they went. And well, I think also the Blizzards, they'll be looking forward to getting out there with the bat. And they've got nothing to lose, really, against their older brothers as we look back at some of the highlights of the first innings. And, well, 2 teams coming from the same parent organisation. And, well, looked early like it was going to be all blinders, all we expected. That was the early boundary. It's well, the wicket started to tumble with increasing regularity. And, well, have a look at this one. This one was absolutely smashed. And you thought at this stage, well, definitely 100 plus on the horizon. But then the wickets, they started to tumble. And, well, you see there, 6 and out. That was the end of Ghani. And that was a moment I think that Omar Zahid will remember for a long time.
Yeah, I don't think... what a start, Vinny. What a start to the series. The the underdogs in this, really fronting up and putting in a good showing. Like you said, the first half of their fielding innings, but it's still open. It's still open for anyone. The Blinders will feel that they can defend this, and the Blizzards will be coming out all guns blazing.
Yeah, certainly will. And you can see the approach they take. We mentioned before. Now, this is a magical piece of fielding as well to run out Baiji. How about that?
Beautiful.
Well, they were on fire. Direct hit. Every fielder's dream. Well, he got rid of it so quickly. But for the most part, they held their catches. And this was a really cool one. Stayed in control. And you can see it's they kept swinging all the way. Now, this is one where it's starting to go wrong. You see that it was just getting each other's way. Goyal was one that touched it in the end. And then this one, well, I don't know how you missed this. Get the breathalyzer on him.
He got the appeal right.
Yeah, well.
Didn't hit the stumps, but was ready for it.
Was so close he could have grabbed them. But a few fortunate ones as well. Just away from the keeper. And that was well struck. Again, slightly misjudgment. This one, also difficult opportunity. We see the Gliders in the end. That late boundary. Just drag themselves over the 80 mark. And well, when it's all said and done, it will be 86 for victory for the Blinders Blizzards. Join us in a few minutes for the chase. It's Mr. Maximo here, Vinny Sandu, along with Joe Wegasani. We'll see you shortly for more FanCode European Cricket Series.
Up high, low.
Hello and welcome back to Budapest. And it's day one of the FanCode European Cricket Series Hungary. A very interesting contest, bit of a derby. Blinders derby. We've got the Budapest Blinders versus the Blinders Blizzards, which is essentially their reserve team, but well, they didn't play like it in the first half of the innings. Got some big scalps along the way, and they've restricted the Budapest Blinders to 85 off their 10 overs. So the Blinders Blizzards with a bat now in hand. They'll need 86 to win game one of this FanCode European Cricket Series. Great to have your company wherever you're watching around the world. And well, great to have this man next to me as well, Jogo Wegasani. Welcome back. And well, what do you think? The Blizzards, 86 for victory. You think they'll fancy it?
I think they'll give themselves a chance. Yep, absolutely. Depends on the strong opening partnership. And if they can get off the mark fairly quickly, take their quick singles, they'll really fancy themselves here, the Blizzards.
Here's the first ball of the second innings. As Mahandas, umpire has a good look at it, says no. And I think this motioning might have been going down leg side.
Yeah, just petering down leg there.
Look at this, swings a long way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably going past the leg stump. He really bent it, didn't he? And well, it wasn't leg before wicket. It was
BBW.
It was something else. Yep. We had lucky. Looks like he's got his box in there. We had a delay last week. Batsman went out and had forgotten something. I thought he'd forgotten maybe one of his batting gloves, or had two right-handed batting gloves. He'd forgotten his box, his protector. It's a good start though. And this is good bowling by Mahandas early.
You know, there's a lot of risks as a batsman, but I can speak from personal experience that forgetting your box is one of the greater ones.
Yeah, well, we've even seen players go out there without a bat on occasion. It can happen. This one, umpire has a good look and says, yep, you're on your way. And once again, it's good in-swing bowling. And well, Sandeep Mahandas, well, he's happy. Socially distant celebrations. And well, in the end, batsman had a look at three balls, wasn't able to hit any of them on the replay. This is full. I mean, that's a pretty good shout. Again, there may be a case for it slipping down the leg side. But, I mean, it looked pretty adjacent to me. And really, batsman nowhere near it. First wicket goes down. And no score on the board.
Yeah, really difficult in real time not to give that out. I think Vinny it was full. You hit all around it, hit him on the back leg. But the ball was moving. It was hooping. It was coming in. And I think it was a good decision by the umpire.
Yeah, I think so. It was a fair one. The ball swinging around, it's something to think about. Hello to Zishan Khan, who's in the chat. Had a great time in Malta. Zishan, opening the batting for Master Cricket Club. And Zishan, always wonderful to see you in the chat. It's a few fans in the chat as well, I'm sure. A little bit of bat on it. Saves him for any chance from LBW. But I just want to say hello to everyone in the chat. And it's always wonderful to have your company. Keanu doing well in the chat, as well as My Pearl Dream. He's saying that the ground's looking very lovely. Yeah, it certainly is. And this is a great start. You can see why. This 86 runs, I think it's going to be a fairly testing target for the Blizzards. This one gets outside the off stump. And there's a bit of extra bounce there. I think you mentioned the track. It's just an occasional one will take off or shoot through. So it's not 100% easy batting out there, is it?
Yeah, and Sandeep, he's really a bowler on top of his game at the moment. He's got lovely control with the new rock.
This is really good footwork. This is important that you take these wides when they go down the leg side. Quite often we see batsmen stepping away and getting hit in the pads with these ones, but especially with an in-swing bowler, I think it makes sense to if anything, just get back and across. So that one swings down leg side for the first run of the innings, coming by way of an extra. And this one will be runs off the bat, not the middle of the bat. Chase will be on. They'll come back for two in the end. So Zahid's off the mark. It's also the end of the first over. It's 3 for 1 after 1.
And what a fantastic start for the Blinders. They'll be very happy with this. to pick up that early wicket and put the pressure right back on the Blizzards now, who would have been feeling up and about after their sterling start to this series, this ACN series here in Budapest. Sotliget.
It's a little bit of a drive from central Budapest where we're staying. It's a good situation here with the pandemic and high vaccination rate in Hungary, and you've probably been seeing, if you've been watching the Euro football, full stadiums. Of course, there was a big game last night. There was Netherlands and Czech Republic. So when we got here, there was a lot of fairly depressed orange shirts around, weren't there, last night? Edged and taken. And so, well, it's immediate success for Abbas Ghani. And this one, let's look at outside the off stump. It's a good line.
Yeah.
And this is well taken by Mars Baji.
Absolutely, Marzi has been keeping very well. And Abbas, look, he's been performing with the bat. He's also in the Hungarian league this year, been bowling at an average of about 4. So
yeah,
he's, or 4, a run rate of about 4. So he's been very tight. He's been picking up wickets, usually 1 or 2 a match for very little, and he's already well underway to performing that again today.
Yeah, let's have a look at this one. So it just nips away a bit.
Yep.
It's good shape and good length. So you're right in the middle, like green zone. I think that's where you want to be bowling it in the power play. Let's get a chance.
It's one of the beautiful things about this kind of organised cricket for a lot of these guys. They haven't played a lot of club cricket.
Yeah.
They're what you call tape bowlers, and now able to bring their skills to the stage.
So 2 early wickets. Well, they got to swing hard. That's exactly what Chowan does. Captain's come out at number 4, and he'll start with a couple. And look, someone just needs to take the bull by the horns. One of the issues here, and we saw in the first innings, even though the Budapest Blinders lost wickets, they were able to at least keep that score ticking over. 7, 8 and over, 7, 8 and over. And look, already you see here, halfway through the second over almost, only 5 on the board. They'd want to be around 16 at the end of this over. And so essentially with a target like this, you kind of want to be 17 every 2 overs. Short and hit hard. Again, these are the kinds of ones that I think it's a bit of inexperience from the Blizzards, because you need to take a run here and just get it ticking. If these are dots, then you really find yourself bogged down, and then you feel like you're even more desperate to play the big shot. Ghani. Well, it's a full toss. It's going to be called a no ball. I think it's a good call.
Yeah.
So it's a good result as well. Chowan's going to get back on strike, so he'll be facing the free hit.
But despite that no ball, you can really tell Abbas he's a thinker. He hasn't played a lot of club cricket, but he thinks about it. He brought his mid off in, stopped the singles, like you said, just trying to keep the constant pressure on, especially during these power play overs.
Yeah. So I mean, this is handy. This is what you need to get going as well. Often we see free hits not cashed in on because the batsman try and hit them just too hard. I think stand still, hit the ball, hit it well. I think that's the key here for Chowan. I think's probably the most decorated of the Blizzards batsmen. Free hit time. This is out. Well, gets a wide, so we'll get another free hit.
Yeah, another wide, but you can see what he's trying to do there. Just kind of negate the free hit. Just kind of moved a little bit, swung out.
Yeah, just. This is in the air, and well, the fielder is going back. He's going back, and well, almost takes a sensational catch, and well, he can't get up in the end. Well, that was Nish. Yeah, he's getting a good taste of the surface here at the GB Oval in Budapest. And well, this would have been a sensational catch because he was backing back all the way. He had to back up the truck in the end. And he wiped himself out, and even worse, the ball went to the boundary.
Yeah, really great effort. That would have been sensational. Very tough catch to take. But fortunate for the Blizzards. They need runs.
Oh, short, misses out. He's upset with himself there. He's threw this shot a little bit too early, if anything. But at least taking these risks gets them back on target. Like I said, 17 off every 2 overs, so we'll keep an eye on the rate. They're only just a few behind now.
Yeah, and Sachin here, Sachin Chauhan, he'll be feeling the pressure here.
That's a really nice shot. It's drilled straight at the fielder, and that's a proper tortoise bounce. Well, I don't know if you met Jeffrey, our pet tortoise, and occasionally he roams around. One bounces off his shell. Well, this one, the fielder needs a helmet. That's gone miles over him. He said, what happened there? Bending the rules of space and time. It's gone a long way over the boundary. And it's a 4 to finish the over. 16 for 2 after 2 overs.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably a demonstration of another element for this series. Will be tough fielding at times because of that tortoise we've got walking around.
Tortuga. Tortuga is Spanish for tortoise. Oh. That's why the Tortuga bounce. And that's exactly, and I think it's actually more exciting when the field is a little bit uneven.
A little bit of unpredictability.
No, it's not particularly pleasant for the fielders. But I tell you what makes for great entertainment. That one absolutely took off. He was happy it went over his head in the end because it was a dentist's paradise, that one. But we go to the third over now. You see that now, they're more or less back on that 8 and over. And it's been Chauhan that's come to the crease and lifted the rate. And that's why I think it's important for Omer Zahid just to make sure you can get the single here and get Chauhan on strike. You don't want to get bogged down with dot balls in this situation. I'm just continuing. Yeah, see, this is me again, a bit of inexperience. He's running down and trying to smash this when all he has to do is just work it for one and get Chauhan down there. He's the man with the hot hand.
Yeah, it's knowing your role in this, isn't it, really? And Chauhan's the man. He's the captain. He'll want to take responsibility. And
wide this time down leg side.
Zahid just needs to stay out there with him. Do we know the Hungarian word for tortoise, Vinny?
I'm sure someone will tell us in the chat. Let us know in the live chat.
Despite my Hungarian descent, I'm ashamed to say I have never heard the word for tortoise in Hungarian.
Can you help us out? You have more idea than me. This one will just be one, so he does get the one. So your last name, Wegasani.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's a fairly Western European kind of take on it. What would be the Hungarian way to say it, the traditional way to say it?
It's Vegashan.
Yeah.
Vegashan.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I suppose that when you speak to people, I know growing up in Australia, they'd say what you're saying and the letters you're using seem completely at odds with one another.
Absolutely. Well, like so many Australians, of course, my grandparents coming across as immigrants and couldn't speak much English.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a custom made at the custom borders. And spent my whole life telling people I wasn't Polish, except when I meet Hungarians who instantly recognise it.
Yeah, well, this is a good in-swinger from Mohandas. Yeah, no, it's a fascinating story. And you mentioned your experience in the top class in the Netherlands. That's a good competition, and we'll be seeing some cricket from there a bit later in the year. That's the plan anyway, on the European Cricket Network. And Netherlands, one of the leading countries for sure in continental Europe when it comes to the cricket setup. And obviously our European Cricket League current trophy holders, VOC Rotterdam.
Yeah, really strong tradition of cricket in the Netherlands, and just shows that cricket is absolutely suited to the continent, especially when we get summers like this. And we'd be hoping to see some sort of similar growth in Hungary and Romania and Bulgaria.
Well, gets funky and gets away with it.
Yeah,
gets some bat on it. I don't think we'll go to the boundary. I've been wrong before. And that a bit of a foot fielding effort.
Fancy feet on the pitch. Fancy feet out in the field.
He had to. It's a bit of a 1-2 job, wasn't it, between these two? Dirty dancing about this. Thought he was going to lift him in the air, but instead just put the boot out. Gets the couple. That's the end of the power play. 21 for 2. That's a pretty good over. And, well, it's a pretty good spell from Mohandas, only conceding 8 off his 2 overs, also picking up a wicket. Well, Keanu, he's always all over it. If you give him a job, and we asked the chat, tell us what tortoise is in Hungarian. He said it's Teknus Beka. Am I saying that?
Teknus Beka.
Teknus Beka.
I'm sure our pronunciation is
probably tell
not great there, but
Technospec
Jeffrey the Technospecker.
Those 3 wickets falling in 1 over in that first innings really set the Budapest Blinders back, but still they managed to get, I think, so about a par total, 85 to 95, the low end of it maybe. It's going to see the 4th over now, and it's going to be Salman Khan bowling, and so just falling a little bit behind the rate.
Yeah, but despite a slow start, they'd still be thinking that they can do this. Just needing a good, solid block of hitting. And as we know, this game can change in just a matter of overs.
This has played nicely away. And again, this one will test the outfield, but it'll get there easily. 4 runs.
Beautiful
And
shot.
what I like about this shot from Chown, he doesn't try to overhit it. He just lets the ball come onto the bat and opens the face. Have a look at this. It's intelligent batting and using the pace of the bowler against him. 4 runs for his team.
Absolutely. Yeah, rocking onto the back foot. Just pushing it behind point, and he'll be feeling good about that. Chown.
Suresh Babu Kramboina asking when Gooch will come on to bowl. I think we'll see Steph Gooch bowling this innings.
It's hard to say. He hasn't been doing much bowling lately, but I'm sure he's always someone to take the responsibility on if he feels he needs it.
This one's very short, and I think this one, see what the call is here. This has given a no ball. That might have been the second one for the over. And that's the reason that's been called. I'll just wait for some clarification on this. And so,
Yeah, too high.
yeah, well, I think. Yeah, so I think just some clarification here. Now, if it was over the head, yeah, and this is a correct call. It'll be a wide because it was over his head. And that will be the one for the over. Yeah, just some confusion about whether it was the first or second one of the over. But the correct call made in the end, and that's the important thing. And so the only difference really being a wide 7-0 ball, both of them 1 run to the batting team, but this won't result in a free hit.
But Chown really just needs to settle himself here because, you know, facing a couple like that.
Another wide. This time for width.
He's just really swinging for it. Needs to get those feet moving. Just wait for the ball.
I always think, you need 9 or 10 and over. You hit 1 bounder and over, you normally stay on the rate. You pick up a couple of singles, pick up a couple of wides along the way. But you don't hit absolutely everything. You can kind of pick your ball that you go after. This is one I think he would have wished he'd hit. Didn't get up as much as he thought.
He's feeling it.
Tell you what, it's pretty warm out there as well. Absolutely no wind at the moment. Even though it's 28 degrees, a pleasant sort of a temperature to play a cricket match, but with no wind at all. I think you're out there for any length of time, especially fairly early in the cricket season. Most of these players, they'll be feeling it. Well, this is in the air, and he's hit it straight down the throat of Nish, and he swallows it. And yeah, the camera's that way, Nish. Yeah. Well, taking chances is so important, and that's a big wicket. That's Chown gone for 16. It's 27 for 3.
Yeah, and having missed that very difficult chance earlier, Nish will be very happy to have gobbled that up. Keep the pressure on the Blizzards. Showing us his number, his name, unaware of where the camera is.
Yeah, that's it. That's rookie errors from Nish. Yeah. And there we are. It's nice to see him down there. Yeah, Lenagi taking the catch. And, well, that one hurts. The captain is looking good at times, but he falls for a pretty sweet 16 of 13 balls. And this will bring Amjad Aziz to the crease at number 5. So again, they need to take a leaf out of the Budapest Blinders book now, and they have to just keep that score ticking however they can. I don't think they necessarily have to do it all in big shots either. I think it's just a matter of limiting the dot balls and picking your balls you go after. This is the heat on strike though. Well, don't worry about that, he says. He just blasts one over point, and that one's got a mile.
Maximo.
That's what they needed.
Oh, don't worry about the tiki-taka. He brings the boom, boom, and half a dozen to finish the fourth over. The score now is 33 for 3.
Yeah, and I think he was just always going to hit that wherever it was. He was going to find a way to swing the bat and managed to connect it beautifully over cover.
First time we've really seen him get one away, to be honest. His first boundary coming off his 8th ball.
Yeah,
And,
bowling really tight Sundeep.
Sensational way to finish the over. And you see that. We talked about the rate. I said 17 every 2 overs. They should be 34 off 4. And look, you can see these are the 5 teams we've got here in Hungary. Now, we're seeing the bottom 2 going head-to-head right now, Budapest Blinders and the Blinders Blizzards, both from the Blinders organisation. And the other teams, Royal Tigers, mentioned that they've been a very, very strong team for many seasons here in Hungary and have heaps of the Hungarian national team in their setup. And then Cobra Cricket Club, who are last year's finalists, like you mentioned, and United Shalad, who are a combination of Baggy Blues and Dunabugdan Cricket Club from last year.
Yeah, Shalad meaning family.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a really nice feeling and nice story behind the name as well.
Absolutely.
And cricket it's a family game. We talk about it all the time. It's European cricket family. And it's growing all the time, and everyone's welcome, whether you're living in Europe or not. It's great to have you on board. Well, this is swung away. It's Ali Yilmaz has come out to bowl. And this one, despite being not a bad delivery at all, it's another one through the offside. And I think this is a good sign when you see batsmen hitting boundaries through the offside. Not sure how intentional that one was, but
I think you might have wanted to go through the onside there.
yeah, but you open up that arc, and well, it was maybe 180 degrees from where he was aiming, but it was effective. And once again, the pace of the bowler being used against him. And that's a good little mini period for the batting team. Slower ball, clever bowling.
Yeah, well read
They
though.
might have a go here. It's been very slow. And now they're going to get some buzzers. Watch out. So they'll just get the 1 overthrow, I think. And so it'll be 2. It's worth a go, though, because I think if Yilmaz hits there, I think he's out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the backing up was there. It was just the uneven bounce, taking him by surprise.
Well, they really need a wicket sooner rather than later now. The Budapest Blinders. This one swings. I think it's all right.
Yeah.
I think one of the issues here, the batsman's footwork makes it look wider than it was. See here, those blue kind of wide indication lines. You see, for me, yeah, I think it's a very good call by the umpire.
Absolutely.
And it went past the crease. It was inside that wide indicator. This time it's back of the hand, slow ball. It might have worked out. He's not going to drop this. So, well, clever bowling. And once again, see perhaps a little bit of over-aggression from the batsman. And didn't necessarily have to go after this one. He didn't get it. The catch was taken. And it's important that they keep taking wickets if they're to stay in this game. The Budapest Blinders, that's a 4th one for them. It's 39 for 4.
Yeah, not a bad little knock there. Got a few boundaries, but you could just see the footwork was always going the same way. And what Ali did is just put in a spot where he felt he'd get the leading edge, and that's what happened.
Yeah, and it was a nice bit of catching as well by Asanka Weligamage. He was very cool under that ball.
Yeah, super experienced cricketer.
Nice ball in the 5th over. Swing and a miss. So, takes us to the halfway point of the innings. We've got a game in our hands. It's 39 for 4.
Yeah, we do. It's going to go right down to the wire here if the Blizzards can just stick in a little bit. What I really like about the Blinders, and we saw it with the Blizzards as well, is that there is a lot of leadership on the field, not just coming from the captain, but Ali, the vice-captain, Mars Baiji, he's behind the stumps, and they all seem to be on the same page, taking their roles, not leaving it all on Stefan Gooch's shoulders, but rather sharing the load. And here comes Danny.
Yeah, we've got Daniel Akbar. He's bowling, and look, they've been pretty tight as well. There's 5 wides and no ball in the innings so far, or 5 overs. And I think this will be an interesting point in the game to see how they approach the slower bowling of
of Danny Akbar. Again, the rate's not out of hand just yet. Good leg spinning delivery, but it's driven really well, really well. What's that? Excellent bit of fielding. Well,
Great bit of
have a
fielding
look
by
at this
Nish,
again, I'm sure.
I feel he might have been over the rope.
We'll have a look at
Got
it.
a hand to that.
Yeah, I think referees, we're in front of the referee's table, so probably have a look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you'll find his left hand touches the rope.
Fantastic effort though by the 41-year-old. He's really been putting in the yards in the field today.
Sensational. And it was signaled for by the umpire, so that's correct. It's just really unfortunate. It's that left hand which is on the rope when he's touching it. So again, the umpire's getting it right, the whole officials team. We appreciate their efforts out there. And this one in the air. Oh, an acrobatic attempt. And well, once again, it's Welly Gamagi. Hey, wow, he got airborne that time.
Absolutely.
This would have been a sensational catch.
It's horizontal. But yeah, unfortunately just
That's goalkeeper style, isn't it? Oof.
would have been a great save.
It was a good save. Well, this one takes a chance. Gets in front of his stumps. And that's good fielding there. I mean, we know there's the occasional Tortuga bounce. And you've got to get your body behind it. That was a nice bit of work.
Yeah, really good batting, and Danny's been right on the spot. Daniel Akbar, he's been landing it on the zone. Hasn't been anything that's looked too hittable, but
Yeah, I think.
Kaya here, he's just managed to make contact. Zahid.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with the wrist spinner. They're really able to get some good bounce out of this surface. The way he gives it a real rip, doesn't he? And this one, I think it's very, very, very close.
Nice bit of keeping.
It was really quick work by Baiji. We have a look at this on the replay. And let's have a look at here. I mean, the batsman starts a long way back in his crease. I think it maybe gives him, even when he comes forward.
Oh, no, he's
I mean,
back.
It's very, very close anyway. You can see the umpire would have been able to have a pretty good look at that, and he wasn't satisfied that the stumping had been completed, but still very, very quick work. But I think, wrist spinners, if they don't bowl bad balls, I mean, they're worth their weight in gold in this form of the game.
Yeah, I think it's been shown over the previous decade or so of the shorter formats that spinners are just what you need. You need a couple in your team. They pick up more wickets. They seem to entice the batsmen to go for it a bit more, and of course that creates chances. Just like that one, unfortunately they couldn't take it.
Goes back and cuts well. And once again, I think this one's heading to the boundary. It is. So, well, the runs keep on flowing. And that's well struck by Kajla. And I like, it doesn't rush at the ball. He lets it bounce.
Yeah.
Does put some pace on the ball, doesn't he, Danny Akbar? That's 4 to the total.
Yeah, it was really, really well weighted. He went to go forward, read the length, rocked back, and just put it away.
Last ball, the 6 coming up. That's a bit off this one, but it's driven well. Well, this is going to race to the boundary for 4 more. Well, this is good hitting.
Yeah, they're right in this, the Blizzards.
Yeah, so the 50 comes up off the last ball of the 6th over. It's 53 for 4. And yeah, what I like about this, okay, they have lost some wickets along the way, but the batsmen coming out, they've played their shots. And all you need is 1 or 2 to come off. And against this kind of a total, it'll get you there.
Yeah, and what I really liked about Osama's batting there is he just kept his head still.
Yeah.
Just kept his eyes on the ball. He was always going to charge it, but just managed to get right to the drop and put it away. A couple of times that over.
It was an expensive over in the end, 14 off it. I mean, wickets have been shared around by the other 4 bowlers. I think Mohandas early was excellent. 1 for 8 off his 2 overs. And Omar's, he bowled a very good over. He's got 1 for 6, and he's going to bowl his 2nd over right here. So I think this is a crucial over in the context of the match.
Yeah, he'll really want to do the job for his team here, the vice-captain.
Top balls. This one the blinders need. Now the required rate is tick over 8. So 33 of 23 balls now. So we're heading for a blockbuster finish here in game 1. Didn't have to wait long for a close one. Slower ball, goes after it. Well, he gets a fair bit of it. I don't think he'll go to the boundary. That's Nish Lianagi. Does the fielding, keeps it to 1. It does have all the variations, doesn't he, Ali Almaz? And he bowls that one very well. It's like a quick leg spinner, leg cutter kind of delivery out the back of the hand. It's hard to land that one. Goes after this, won't carry to third man. Again, does well to keep it to a single. And I think at this point of the game, you have a look, it's 31 off 21 balls now. You know, that gap of 10 between runs required and the balls remaining. And the longer that the fielding side can maintain that, you know, I think they'll be happier with it. This one, some legs, but the field's well placed, and I'll keep it to 1 because, okay, 30 off 20 now. That's if you get it to 20 off 10, then you're already up at 2 a ball. So that's why at this stage of the game, I think singles aren't going to bother the fielding team, the Budapest Blinders, too much.
You can see that in the field placements and the plan that Ali's bowling to. He's just trying to keep it outside off stump, maybe get that catch. But overall, just saving the boundaries.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, my strategy if I'm batting at the moment is like I want to score off every ball. And if I get a bad ball or something I can put away, then I'm going for the big shot. But I think you don't want to have a bunch of dot balls. If you have a bunch of dot balls and that rate climbs, builds pressure, normally forces a wicket, and then there's a new batsman at the crease. It's just something you're going to have to keep an eye on. Last ball, the 7th over. He gets a fair bit on this, but it's gone straight to the third man, and he holds on. Very good catch. Well, they've caught very well, haven't they, the Blinders?
Catch.
And, well, this time, Yalmaz gets a wicket off his last ball, and well, he's helped out by the opening bowler, Sandeep Mohandas down there. He takes a very good catch.
Yeah.
5th wicket to fall. It's 56 for 5.
Sandeep in the deep. Never looked like he was going to drop that. Very experienced and confident cricketer. Comes from Kerala.
And so, well, it's a very interesting part of the game now. This is match 1, but match 2 is not too far away. In half an hour, we'll be back. And the same 2 teams going head to head. And the news from the toss, it's actually the Blinders Blizzards that have won the toss and elected to bat first. So, you know, I think I like what I'm seeing from them. They're all playing their shots. They'll get a chance to put the score on the board first. And I think it'll be interesting to see how they go about it. And also to see if they adjust their order and maybe put the players up the order that have been hitting well. I think you have to be pretty adaptive in this form of the game to kind of just roll with players that's working for you. But it's all set up for a big finish here first.
Absolutely, and they'll be happy to, you know, there would have been a lot of jitters, a few nerves for them. I'd say for the Blizzards more than the Blinders before this match. They put in a great showing, and they'll be ready to, well, depending what happens here.
10 and over required now. And this is just a single. And that will get Gupta off the mark. And that's intelligent stuff from him. Just, like I said, dot balls kill you at this stage. In 10 and over, you pretty much need, you know, a 4 or a 6, and you can piece together the rest if you don't have dots. Someone Khan, the bowler. Nice drive. This is where you've got to be pushing. And again, they only get 1 here. Makes a big difference if you get 2s versus 1s at this stage.
They really want to be pushing those singles, and you know, at this stage, if you lose a wicket going for the extra run, then so be it. But you're not going to win unless you really push.
It goes after this, but he might have found the fielder, and he has. And well, Akash in the chat, he was mentioning the difference in this match. It really has been the catching, and the Blinders haven't missed too much. And this time, it's well held. Abbas Ghani out at deep mid wicket takes the catch. And it wasn't the worst hit ball ever from Gupta, but he just dragged it towards the fielder. Once again, they take the opportunity, and the score, it's 58 for 5.
Yeah, an absolutely correct call there. The catching has been way better by the Blinders, a result of the hard work that they've been putting in the off season. I know they did about 20 only fielding sessions leading up to the beginning of the competition, the club competition here in Hungary.
Yeah.
And it's paying off. You can see it.
58 for 6, pardon me, with that wicket. Falling with regularity. But you see it's going to be difficult now. The bottom order to score at this 10 and over. It's been a really good over so far. 1-1 wicket. So like I said, we don't normally judge a game after 5 overs of the first innings. You can see why, Joe.
Yeah.
There's a lot of twists and turns in this match. It goes after this. It's gone to the same man. Can he do it again? Ghani, he can. Well, he spikes it. And why not? And would you believe it? It's Salman Khan. He's on a hat trick. And these two dismissals falling exactly the same fashion. And now it's 58 for 7.
Yeah, and it's looking like a really difficult ask here for the Blizzards. It's going to take something special, but fantastic catching once again by Abbas in the deep.
And now you got a situation where the hat trick's on. And that's one man I wouldn't move because we had 2 go straight to him.
Just do it again.
You wonder. You got a situation as well. It's Jassi Singh is coming out to bat at number 9. And have to attack. So could we have our first hat trick? Salman Khan, 3 for 14 now. His figures with 2 balls remaining in his spell. It's been a critical contribution. Hat trick ball. It's past him.
Just past the edge.
That's exactly what we're saying, isn't it? It's, the run rate stalling creates wickets, and now it's looking like a pretty daunting task. The rate's gone up above 2 a ball, but catches win matches. We've seen it so many times.
And really good death bowling there, just a little bit of outswinger, putting it outside off, full.
Because after this, we'll get 1. This will take us to the end of the 8th over. It'll be 59 for 7. And now you can see 27 off the last 2 overs. This is where I think you got to mark your territory here in the 9th if you're batting. I think you don't want to leave too many to the last over. I mean, if you only get 8 off this, for example, 20 in the last over, it's a really, really tall order. So I think this is where you do need to take some pretty calculated risks. Not going to be easy. They've got some good bowling options to come. You can see there, that line, it was ahead for most of the innings, just taken a nosedive, and it's coincided with the loss of those wickets.
Yeah, such a good start, and they'll be a bit disappointed here, but as you said, T10 over cricket can change in a moment. I guess that's what we really love about it.
So the one thing that, when I started commentating these 10 over matches, I couldn't believe how many momentum swings you can have in a match for such a short match.
And that's what really makes it special, that you can really condense a game that so many of us love around the world and condense it into a very watchable platform. But still with the excitement and the change and the ebbs and flows of cricket.
Yeah, exactly right. Cameron Wahid, he's going to get a chance to face here. And look, you can turn this game around if you're the Blizzards now, but you need boundaries. You probably need, I'd say at least 2 this over. You just got to work out how you're going to get them. Ghani with the ball.
Fantastic bowling. Once again from Ghani.
Yeah, right on the money, isn't he?
Yep.
This is the difference also when you got the bottom order in there. This is the kind of ball where the set batsman might disappear. It's got some length on it, but it's excellent bowling as well. Chops this one away, but they only get 1. The blinders won't mind that. Well, you've got to feel for the Blizzards a little bit as well. With the start that they had, they were up and about and just fallen off the pace. And I thought maybe this is their best chance to get one up on their, I suppose, bigger brothers is one way you could look at it. But they're running out of time. They're running out of balls. It's not going to help, so we're going to miss.
Just past the edge of the bat, and yeah, it's they will be. If they can't do it, there's no point trying to save wickets here. They've just got to go for it, and they are. But I think the quality of bowling from Abbas and from Salman Khan, he's been sensational. Just really kept the pressure on.
Yeah, you can see here now, swing for everything with each swing of the bat. seeming less and less likely he's going to connect with one. And, this is why we thought runs on the board. That's why I think I like the decision at the toss for Stefan Gooch to bat first. Has ramped up the pressure in this second innings. And, well, now this is the reward. And Fagani gets a wicket off the last ball of his spell. There's a full toss. And the ball, I think, swung a little bit. The batsman definitely swung. And the wickets, they went down. It's the 8th wicket falling off the last ball of the 9th. Have a look at this one. Does curve a bit, doesn't it? And the score now, it's 61 for 8.
Just really smart bowling from Abbas again. You see that? He's just got great control. He's been so tight. And there wasn't a single shot in that over that was played straight. He saw that and went for the Yorker. Came off. Really dipped, didn't it?
Really did. These balls, they do stay fairly new for the entirety of the innings because they are only 10 over matches. But now, 25 required off the last over. So, heading for the last. It's been a pretty good effort. But the Blizzards, I think, a bit of a golfing class has shown up despite everything early going against the Budapest Blinders, especially in their batting innings. This one, there's a bit of glove here. Well, he's going to roll
work by Marcel.
How's this for some party tricks? Nish, he's gone through the legs.
And it didn't pay off, but you can just see the experience and quick thinking of Nish there.
I love it. Well, he knows pretty much they've got to have the game at this point. So he thinks, well, if I'm ever going to run it through my legs, this is probably
well, he grew up playing rugby in Sri Lanka, so it'll be all right coming to the fore.
The next ball is hit down to long off, and that will be a single. And I think he's out. Yeah, he's been run out. Well, have a look at this. Well, I think what happened here is Nish, somehow, when he's going behind the stumps, I think the batsman's ball watching. And then, he's out. He's got to be out. I mean, here's the thing. He actually completes the run. So it'll be one run. You see, he completes the run, but then starts thinking about a second, and he's out of his crease at the point where he's out. So...
yeah, and that just shows the...
and actually, I think they've withdrawn their appeal, I think, is what it is that's happened here. So actually, that's pretty sporting from Stefan Gooch. And he's shown he's a good sportsman today already. He walked down leg side, and I think he said, look, we realised that you didn't really get the opportunity to get back in your crease because the bowler was in your way. So I think it's very easy to be sporting when you're ahead in the game as well. But,
yeah, it's a bit easier.
I think that's a nice touch.
But also a good lesson there for the... batsman at the non-striking end. Hold your ground.
Edged and dropped. Just went very quickly to Major's right. And he can't hold on. This will be another single.
And Maj there, he'll be disappointed, but just needs to move on. Can't afford to be wallowing too much in your sorrow at dropping the catch.
He's going to drop one. Now's the time. You know he's not going to go on and make 100. There's only a couple of balls left. And... I think it's going to be interesting as well because we'll see the Blizzards batting first again, and so we'll see the Budapest Blinders in the field for 2 consecutive innings. And I think it's a fairly warm day, and these 2 10-over innings, I think you spend more energy than you would in 1 20-over innings.
Yep.
Just because the pace of the game. There's another edge, another drop for Pagey. Well,
be worth bringing a couple of slips in here.
Couldn't really get off the ground. Couldn't get airborne, could he? Well, maybe you need to get the gloves on Asanka Weligamagi. He had no problems getting off the ground. He's getting plenty of catching practice, just not holding on to any, Maiji. But it's only a single, and at this stage you can see that just taking the wickets, they haven't been able to keep the score ticking for most of this innings. The Blizzards, that's why they're going to fall about 20 runs short. And just waiting on the last ball. Some sort of conference going on here. And I wonder what this is about. May say, what are you having for morning tea? And I'll have a coffee with one.
One for you, Steph.
And I think it might be about the way the field is moving when the bowler's running in, perhaps. It's an interesting time to have the chat, though.
Yeah, and it could be a bit of the chatter going on. We know that Stefan Gucci brings that Australian brusque loudness to his team.
Here's the last ball of the innings and the last ball of the match, and it's going to be a wicket. So 9 wickets fall in the end. And well, hasn't he caught very, very well? It's Sankaweli Gamagi, and there were a few catching chances in the over. And this one, it's going to be all over. 66 for 9 will be the final. And they're going to go down by 19 runs. Yeah. 85 to 66. Well, Joe.
Real tough one there.
Very interesting first game of the series, though, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think a lot of things the Blizzards can take from that. And like you said, ready to just get back on the horse and take on the Blinders once more.
Very keen to do what the Blinders did to them. And this is how it started. It was Sandeep Mohandas swinging the new ball, and well, he got the reward. Pitch this one up. Looked like a pretty good shout to me, even with the movement that hits him.
Yeah, really set the tone.
Yeah, really good chance it was going to hit the stumps, but I think for the most part it was the catching of the Budapest Blinders that made all the difference in this innings.
Yep, just those little 1%ers that they just did a little bit better. Blizzards got off to an absolutely cracking start. They were holding everything and getting run-outs, but I think eventually just the class of the Blinders and the pressure that they could put on really managed to, like that, taking that catch.
This was a big one, I think. Yeah. And Chowan went, and he actually looked good. I think he looked the best of the batsmen. He struck 3 boundaries on the way to his 16, but he fell at a crucial stage of the innings. And man, look, credit to them. They went out there, swung the bat, but the fact that 3 batsmen struck double figures. It was Chowan with 16, over Zahid with 15, and Kajla with 14, but they didn't bat for long enough, and they just ran out of resources. And well, how about that for some aerial action? Needed a flight clearance for that one. And then this was a very, very tight one. Didn't go the way of the fielding team. And we're going to see plenty more opportunities for Baiji in the last over. And well, I think that Danny Akbar is a good bowler. Didn't really get the reward in this game. Went for 14 of his over, but I'm sure he'll be back in the second match today. But yeah, ultimately, it was taking the chances. They knew they had to do it, the Budapest Blinders, if they were to defend this score, but they did it expertly in the end.
Yep, and like you say, just those beautiful catching in the outfield. Abbas taking 2 in a row. There's that lovely hooping in Yorker.
Tunnel ball.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a conference for the last ball. And well, whatever happened, it worked. And it was Gamagi that took his second catch of the innings. He was a critical part of that fielding effort. And in the end, it was a good effort by the Blizzards, but they were just outclassed by the premier team in the Blinders organisation. Let's have a look at the scorecards. And well, in the second innings, it was 86 for victory. And ultimately, we saw both openers removed without scoring a run, and it was a huge first over for the Budapest Blinders. And like I mentioned, three batsmen made double figures in the end. Chowan top scoring with 16. The captain, he was leading from the front. Zahid with 15. And then Osama Kajla with 14. Apart from that, you can see there, all single digits, but losing both openers for a duck, that hurts. And look, also pretty tight when it comes to the extras because they didn't give too many away. You see in the whole 10 overs, only gave away 5 wides and a no ball. And well, the bowler, Salman Khan, he was on a hat-trick at one stage, 3 for 15. Also 2 wickets for Abaskani and Ali Almaz, and singles for Mohandas and Leonagi. And I thought, especially the way the Budapest Blinders were able to swing the ball, I think the work of Mohandas was critical in setting up this victory.
Absolutely. Yep, and we'll get to see it all again. And really good chance for Blizzards to regather, regroup, maybe do a bit of a mix-up on the batting order.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe put Kajla up a little bit.
Yeah, I liked Kajla.
Yeah. And that can also play with the minds of the Blinders if they feel they've got the gauge on the Blizzards batting lineup, worth trying a few things around and seeing if they can jump them a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it'll be very interesting to see what happens. And look, in the meantime, you might want to go to our website, europeancricket.com. Check out the match preview for the next game. We'll be starting in around about 10 minutes' time. Just to tick over that, make sure you join us right back here on the European Cricket Network. You can also go to our social media at European Cricket to have a look at some of the highlights. And there certainly were plenty of them last couple of weeks in Malta. But see you in approximately 10 minutes to bring you back to all the action from Budapest. It's Vinny Sandhu here, Mr. Maximo, along with Joe Wegasani. You're watching the European Cricket Network. This is the FanCode European Cricket Series.
Hello and welcome back to Budapest, and it's the first morning of the FanCode European Cricket Series Hungary. Well, these two teams, we see there's a very friendly rivalry between them. We've seen some competitive cricket so far and lots of action. It's time for the toss for match 2 between the Blinders Blizzards and the Budapest Blinders. Let's go over to the match referee, Charles Croucher, who's with the two captains.
Okay, it's going to be your call.
Tails.
Tails is the call. It's a tail.
What would you like to do?
We're going to bat first.
Well, there you go. It is the Blinders Blizzards that have won the toss for match 2, and they've decided to bat first this time. So we'll have a different order of innings. It'll be the Blizzards to put the score on the board. Over to Joe Wegsani, who's in the commentary box.
Thank you very much, Vinny. And we're back here at the Budapest GB Oval, ready for our second game of this wonderful series that has just gotten underway. Good little result in the first game for the Blinders, but of course the Blizzards, the essential reserves team of the Budapest Blinders, put up a good showing, but they'll want to show a little bit more. They definitely came out with a lot of fight. They were holding their catches until about halfway through their fielding innings, and then started to let things slip a little bit, and in the end could just not maintain the pressure on the Blinders, who managed to defend what wasn't the biggest total, but certainly big enough. And the next game coming up, as I said, the Blinders and the Blizzards again, and then we'll get to see the doubleheader between the Royal Tigers and the Cobras. And it's making for a lovely day at the moment. The wind is slightly picking up. You see the flags fluttering more than they were certainly earlier in the morning. It's quite nice actually. The umpires are coming out onto the field, and here come the Blinders, who batted first in the last match but have lost this toss. They'll be coming out to bowl, hoping to really reinforce the standard that they've been setting so far. You imagine they'll start with the same opening bowler combination. And like I said, the opening bowler combination, Sandeep Mohandas and Abascani really put on a show there, and were well backed up by Abascani, by Salman Khan, excuse me. So they'll be hoping to put in a similar performance. And the Blizzards, of course, walking out to the crease now, their two opening batsmen. So Madhav Gupta and Ono Ozkul coming out to really try to lift their game a little bit, not let their heads get too down from the last result. Really, they've just got to play their shots, take their singles. So welcome back to the commentary box, Mr. Maximo, Vinny Sando, how are you?
Okay, very well. Thanks, Joe. Excited to see the rematch. The first one was certainly a very exciting match indeed. And well, these players know each other very well. Here's the first ball of match 2. I think Margie actually getting the ball. And so I thought we might see the same opening bowling combination of Sandeep Mohandas and Abascani, but obviously changing things up. I think it's also about getting a bit of cricket into people in this format of the game, finding their way.
And after a bit of a wayward first delivery, that was right on the money from Billigamagi.
So we've got Gupta and Chowan, they're out there. It's confirmed now. Chowan, I think he'll be the key to this batting effort for the Blizzards. And probably one area they let themselves down in the first game. In the end, just kind of stalling on the way to a total of 66. No one really got on with it. Billigamagi picks this one up. We have the first run of the innings. Gupta drives him and the ground. Someone Khan does the fielding.
Yeah, and just really I want to be starting with the kind of positive intent that they began the last match with. And hopefully got a few nerves out of the way,
Yeah.
a few of their jitters. Now they can just put their heads down and really try to put on a total here that can make the Blinders think.
This is a nice shot. And, well, Chowan impressed me with his stroke play in the first match, and he gets off to a flying start. Beautiful for cutaway. It was almost a back foot drive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But he certainly got off the middle of the bat and got 4.
Yeah, beautiful wave, real pure cricket shot there. Went to go forward and then just saw the length, rock back, timed it beautifully. And he's away. So Billigamagi, Sanka.
It's a little bit high to me. And Shub, now I've got Singh doing the umpiring. And I've seen him umpiring early in this year as well. We saw him in the Barcelona series, very experienced campaigner. Very cool under pressure. And Black have been good so far this morning. Let's ball the over. Reaches for it. Give it wide. Not to hear the train going past. And, certainly is a beautiful part of the country that we are wanted to bring the cricket to you from today. Last ball the over. Well, a little bit short, and he goes after it, and he gets plenty of it. Well, that's a great shot. Maximo!
There it is.
How about that? Again, once again, you get 2 shot on this wicket, does sit up. It's good footwork. They're backing across, and he went up and away, and it never came back.
Yeah, and it's something that we didn't see too much of in the last match from either side. There weren't too many of your favourites, Vinny, the Maximos.
True.
But yeah, Showing really showing some positive intent there and picking up the length beautifully. He is off to a flying start.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see them go head-to-head once again. And I think Chowan, is a lot on him, I think, is to take the ball by the horns. Now, no Blizzard scored more than 16 in that first game. I think it makes it really hard to build an innings when you've got no one really going on with it. So you need one player. And I think Chowan looks the most likely to me. I think he's the most experienced batsman. He's cool in a crisis. And I think that's a really good positive move to have him pushed up to the top of the order.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And Gupta will be wanting to really stand by his captain there. Maybe just play a bit of a supporting role. Chowan seems to have his eye in, and Gupta's just going to stay in.
Oh, he's knocked him over. And this one doesn't really bounce. And you mention it occasionally that you do get some balls that bounce a little bit funny on this pitch. And you have a look at this one. Really doesn't get up, but then it wasn't the best shot, was it? You'd have to say that Gupta cross-batting the ball on the stumps. Well, anyway, his shirt needed a patch-up job. And the stumps, well, they need some attention as well. He goes, and he goes for only 1. First wicket down. It's 13 for 1.
And good to know the commentator's curse is working. Just talking about how much he needed to knuckle down. He played a not great cross-bat shot there. Could have just stepped forward, played straight, protected his wicket, but let the moment get to him a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a funny one because it didn't really bounce. You would expect it would have bounced a bit more, but still the shot wasn't on. And once again, this man, Mohandas, has been sensational this morning for the Budapest Blinders. Once again, see a wide down the leg side after giving a wrap, but no, he's a definitely going to be a handful for all the opening batsmen in this series. You see there the movement he gets. They're coming off that big match yesterday against the Royal Tigers, like you mentioned. So I think they're finding fatigue a little bit. I think they're Budapest Blinders, but still putting on a good showing.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there, Vinny. And Sandeep, he's just been putting in a power of work. And like you said, 2 10-over innings is probably a little bit more draining than 1 20-over innings.
Yeah.
And just drifting down leg side there. I think it's certainly fatigue. We've been joined by the March flies, the horse flies.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, too many flyers around Europe this year, but now I know why they're all in Hungary.
Yeah.
But it's certainly a wonderful setting, and what I like about this ground is the trees all around it as well.
Yeah.
It kind of gives a nice kind of amphitheatre feel to it, and I think it's a really nice place to play cricket.
Yeah, and a few, I took a while to recognise what they were, but they're mountains in the background.
Yeah. Down leg side.
Obviously, living in the Netherlands, you forget what a mountain looks like.
Of course.
So
it's very flat.
Very nice here in the Carpathian Basin, the western part of the Carpathian Basin, comprising Hungary and Romania, over to Bulgaria. Really beautiful, ancient, fertile ground. Fantastic to see some cricket here.
Wow, it's fortunate to get away with this. He gets a little inside edge. I think if there's no bat on this, I think the castle's getting knocked over.
Yep, really swinging in, and very fortunate to get that inside edge, going between his pad and the stumps, down to that short fine leg. What can Sandeep do here?
He walks in him, completely puts him off,
Yep.
and forgets to bowl the ball. The umpire's saying, oh, you've got one job. You run in and bowl it. I think. So, I guess there's nothing to stop the bowler holding up if he's put off by the actions of the batsman. Does it again. This time he's expecting it. Gets one down the ground. And so it'll be the end of the over as well. It's 17 for 1. Good over from Mahandas, conceding only 4 and picking up a wicket along the way.
Yeah, great start, and very interesting tactic there from Zahid to basically walk as far down the pitch as he possibly could with such a short run up from Sandeep. But did throw him a little bit. It's a risky move. We'll see if that kind of aggressive batting pays off. I think they need to sort it out between them, the two batsmen here. Challen's the one who has shown he can really hit it, play his shots, very pure shots. And again, they just need to build a partnership. I think one good partnership in a 10-over match can really hold the game for you.
Yeah, I think so. That's exactly right. That's out there. It's always easier for them. Here's Abasghani. Good today. He gets the first one past the bat.
Yeah, Zahid not really moving his feet very much there, just waving the wand at it, outside off. Very lucky not to get an edge there. Probably too good a ball for it.
Yeah, this is good bowling. This is that good length that we talked about earlier in this power play. I think asking questions of the batsman. He's trying to drive, but it's not quite full enough for him to get hold of it.
Yeah, and I think just dropping it just a tiny little bit shorter just to counter the charge. Making sure he's not giving him any half volleys. Very good bowling from Abbas.
Goes after this one in the air. Well, they're hunting it. Oh, he's pulled it in.
What a grab.
Unbelievable stuff.
You beauty.
Salman Khan, how can you do this? And well, he put the hand out in hope rather than anything else. Well, he's ringing it. But, well, ring that bell. That's the catch of the series so far. And can you believe it? Salman Khan pulling off a bit of a miracle to get rid of Zahid. He goes for 2, and it's 17 for 2.
Yeah, as we look at it, hard to imagine there'll be a few better catches than that.
Ridiculous
Absolute
stuff.
cracker.
I'm sure we'll see this a few times. And that wasn't a bad shot. Just hung in the air a while, and he did. Well, I'm looking at the one-hander at the end, but he did well to get to it in the first place. He had to move really quickly to his left. And, well, he did it.
Absolutely, and nothing lucky about it. He really made the effort, put the mid out, and instead of juggling, he managed to pull it into his body, which ensured the catch.
This one, he's going to go to his right, and well, goes to his left, he goes to his right. Well, someone can't. They'll be dancing all night after that catch. Talk about catches winning matches.
Yeah,
Makes a big difference. And Sultan Gaming saying, what a catch, the best catch he's ever seen in this tournament. Well, definitely in this tournament. We've had some real worldies in the last couple of months on ECN. What if I told you that it's probably in our top 10 catches for the year? But, I mean, we've had so many. That's the thing. And often they're hard to compare when they're really, really good catches because you just different types of catches, I suppose. So last ball of the over. Swing and a miss. So Chowan, one issue he's got at the moment is he's been a spectator for a lot of the power play. It's the end of the third over, 18 for 2. He's only faced 7 out of the first 18 balls, and I think they want him to face a bit more.
Yeah, that's really good work by the blinders, just to keep who's probably the danger man off strike.
Yeah.
Picking up that wicket along the way. And yeah, you get all kinds of great catches, all very different, but it's also the moment in the match and setting the tone so early in the innings. Really great work.
Yeah, beginnings matter for sure. And so we're going to go back to Mohandas. I think it's smart that he bowls out. He's just so good with the new ball. So I think, he can hoop it. Makes sense to put it back in his hands.
Yeah, get the damage done early.
Just be one, and see once again, Chowan on striker's end. That's why I think it's up to Azair to at least know his role. And his role needs to be just to get off strike at the moment until he's comfortable. Let Chowan do the hitting. This will help as well.
Maybe he swung a little bit too much.
That's the risk, isn't it?
Right down leg.
It's the risk of the in-swing bowler.
Yeah.
If it does get wrong, can go very wrong. We've seen a few 5 wides this year. But well, a lot of people in the chat, they're very excited about that catch. You can see why. Outstanding work by Salman Khan. Oh, this is hit into the leg side. It's probably getting away from the fielder. It does. And we go all the way. And well, just a couple of bounces and over the rope. Still just going with the swing. Smart batting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Going to the leg side.
Absolutely. And he really needed that for his confidence, Mohammed Azair. He looks like he wants to stick out there, but just been a little bit flailing.
Big appeal. I didn't pick anything up there.
The umpire is unmoved.
Yeah, this one comes back a lot. See if we can pick up anything on our replay. See, it really does go. I think it might have just flicked the back pad there. And it shows you how much bounce in this pitch sometimes as well. I think you see this one swings, and to me, it just flicks that back pad. That's where the noise came from. Excellent umpiring not to give that one out.
Yeah, very, very good decision. I really like the use of Sandeep here, and what might be helping him, he might not be able to see it on the screen, but the wind has picked up a little bit.
The next ball was a dot, just to let you know at home. It was driven too short mid wicket, and so no run off the next ball. This is 3.5 coming up. And it's going to be down to deep square leg. And well, now almost a run out here. And well, have a look at this for some running. And this is just, it's all communication. You've got to be looking at each other. You see, they come through for the one. And then you see, Chowan didn't touch his bat originally, and he lost his hat. And I don't think anyone was quite alert to it. If that throw goes to the bowler's end, I think the only man that knew was Mohandas, who was at the bowler's end saying, someone throw it to me. Now it goes up and away. I think this will fall safely, or will it? No, the fielder's coming in. Oh, it does in the end. And, well, that's unfortunate.
Baskani, been so safe in the field today. He'll be disappointed with that, letting that one through.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt him. See this one here. This would have been the big wicket. Instead, falls through the fingers. And it's also the end of the 4th over. It's 27 for 2. And we're just inviting all of you, no matter where you're watching around the world, why don't you get involved in our live chat on our YouTube channel, ECN European Cricket Network. And yeah, I know that so many people are excited to get involved in the live chat, and I can see that we've got plenty of great discussions going on in there. A lot of people enjoying the scenery from this GB Oval, and we have people all around the world, and it's amazing in the modern age, isn't it, Joe, that we can bring this into your lounge rooms, no matter where you're watching. And this one should be a catch, and it's held. Wow, this guy, he has sticky fingers, that's for sure. Salman Khan. And this one was a 2-hand job. And, well, little jump for effect. Have a look at that. But he's got very, very safe hands. And, well, he removes another batsman from the equation and the scores. Now, he's suffering a little bit with the loss of the wickets. But the main man, Chown, he's still there. That's what they're going to have to think about at the moment. It's 27 for 3.
Yeah, really great work by Salman. You can maybe see his left hand definitely got a little bit hurt with that blinding one-handed catch that he took. He's taped it up, hasn't let it stop him though. Very safe hands.
Wow, called the blinders. You can see why. And they've got one of the coolest logos I've ever seen as well. This is all bowled.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yalman's with the ball, of course. And just have a look at the blinders logo with the sunglass emoji. And pretty cool cats.
Yeah, and you know, recently established, really wanting to make a mark on the Hungarian cricket team, and they're already doing it. Just you can see the quality competition even here between the A-grade team and the reserves. That they're really trying to set those standards to a level that will propel Hungarian cricket into the future.
Swing a miss. Yalma's pretty good. Pretty good swing bowler in his own right. He'll be more likely to move it away from the right-hander. Goyal, he's in there at the moment. And they take it on. Well, I think this is a chance. And this would have been a huge moment in the game. As Chown, he really wants to strike back. But I don't think there was one here. I think it's a better throw. I think that it would have been a goner.
Yeah, and the batsmen really need to keep focus here, just not spend time ball watching. Run that first single as hard as you can.